Hi, I'm Joyce Harper, and I want to welcome you to season 4 of my podcast, Why Didn't Anyone Tell Me This? Together with expert guests and those with lived experiences, we will give you some tools to empower you to live a life of good health and happiness. Today, we have another podcast in the mini-series about your joyful years in conversation with some of the very wise women I interviewed for my book. And you are getting double the fun today as I am talking to Jinty Sheerin and Lou Hockings-Thompson. They are the hosts of the WomenKind Collective Podcast, delivering a weekly mix of real talk, education, and humour centred on women's health, menopause, relationships, and smashing the patriarchy. The energy from Jinty and Lou is infectious, and this is one of the reasons why we love listening to them on their podcast. We had such fun recording the podcast today, which is full of joy and laughs and a few swear words. Enjoy. Hello, Jinty and Lou.
Hello, Joyce.
Hello, lovely Joyce.
Oh my God, you sound so sexual already.
Oh, sorry, yes.
I put my sexy voice on for you, Joyce.
Podcast
Hello,
voices.
Joyce.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. Now, as you can tell, already, this is going to be a podcast full of fun, full of laughs. And I interviewed both Lou and Jinty for my book. You will find lots of wonderful stories and quotes of them in my book. And thank you so much to you both for being part of that. But
Pleasure.
Oh, no, thank you for asking.
I'm going to talk a lot about lots of things with you today. But first, I want you both to tell me a little bit about you and your life up to now and, yeah, all the great things you've been doing. Who wants to go first?
God, where do we start?
Ooh, that's a big question, isn't
Yeah, it's a
it?
huge question. So shall I talk about our friendship? Shall I start with our friendship first, Joyce?
Yes.
Like that.
Yes.
You can jump in.
I'll jump in.
Jump in. So we've known each other for over 40 years now. Friends from when we were teenagers, and we were in the same profession. We were both hairdressers, and we moved in the same sort of social circles.
You helped me get a job, didn't you?
I helped you get a job. Our children are of similar ages, and we've just sort of been in and out of each other's lives, and on the periphery of each other's lives always, and always there for each other, but not right in each other's pockets, have we? But it got to lockdown. And you tell this really well, Jen, but you were missing things, weren't you?
Yeah. So we were meeting up quite regularly before lockdown. Lou was going through some shit, weren't you? You were going through some quite difficult stuff.
Big shit.
So we were meeting up in a cafe once a week, and then obviously for everybody that had to stop over lockdown. So we then took it to FaceTime, as a lot of people did. And one day we were chatting, I think it was me that suggested it, that we just started recording our conversations, because I was really missing female company and female chat, and just talking about how we can go from really deep conversations about our feelings and about our family life to there's a big fat robin outside the window, or do you know what I mean? You can go from like really deep stuff to talking about absolute nonsense. Yeah. And a lot of the podcasts I was listening to, which I was listening to quite a few at the time, were fantastic, but they didn't make me laugh. And I thought sometimes we need a little bit of both. So we started recording, and that was the beginning of the podcast, wasn't it?
But we started recording the podcast because what we both said was, even if nobody listens, at least we'll listen, and we think we're hysterical. You know, probably hysterical being the operative word, but it really was for us at the beginning. Then there was, then the audience just grew, and there was that wider outside that people wanted it. People wanted that connection. People wanted that conversation, and that easy conversation. We're not medical professionals, so I think we were breaking it down into simple terms and to things that we'd gone through or our loved ones had gone through. So it made it more relatable, I suppose, Joyce, what we were talking about. And then we met you from the podcast as well, didn't we?
Yes. Oh my goodness me. Well, I think that's one great thing about doing a podcast. You meet brilliant people and get to chat to them.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. Win-win-win.
Exactly.
We met you at an awards ceremony, didn't we? It was the first time we physically met you.
Yes, we did. We were very glamorous.
You were very glamorous, and you were you had flat shoes on because you were loving your flat shoes. That's right, wasn't it? Yeah.
I always wear flat shoes.
Good old trainers.
I love trainers. I love them. You can wear a sparkly dress and trainers. I have been criticised, but I'm up for it. We don't need high heels. Anyway,
Really?
right. No, we don't. Now,
No, we don't.
your podcast has been a brilliant success. We're going to delve into that. But let's talk a little bit more about women collectively chatting. So you've called your podcast the WomenKind Collective. So tell us why you think that's a good title, why that's important.
We went through quite a few titles, though, didn't we?
Yeah, Lou will be surprised now. I'm going to surprise even Lou here because I went back. I thought you might ask about that, so I went back and checked all our text messages from 5 years ago, and all the names that were coming up.
Oh God.
Basically, WomenKind Collective, we went through quite a few, which I'll tell you about some of them in a minute, which were brilliant. But we wanted it to be feel like a club, that you didn't have to pay to join, that you didn't have to subscribe to, that you could just come along and be part of. But we didn't like club and we didn't like gang. And so eventually, but we thought WomenKind, we felt and we still feel and we hope that is fully inclusive, because it's all people really, and a collective, it's just a better word than
gang.
Yeah. So I'll just tell you some of them. We've got ones from Words of Women. That was one of them, which isn't too bad.
No.
The Hag Years.
Oh,
You didn't like Hag.
I didn't like Hag, did I?
We had Tea and Talk.
Which is not far from where we are now.
Not far from where we are now. We had Get Over It.
Oh.
Get over it. Oh my God.
That's terrible.
We had it's awful, isn't it? The Dangerous Women's Club, the Womanish Club, Wild Women Club, but the best two, but we didn't think we could get away with it. Lou came up with a pair of fannies. And then I came up with Cunts and Conversations. So it could have been any of those.
I love both of them.
With the fannies.
I've got two stories, two stories about both of those titles. So you may or may not know, but my camper van is called Fanny.
I've met Fanny.
Yeah. You met Fanny
in a car park, didn't I?
Sounds like we're dogging.
Yes, I met Joyce and her Fanny in a car park at Greendale Farm Shop, actually.
It was lovely. It was lovely for a cup of tea.
Yeah, it was lovely.
We should come back a cup of tea later. But she was called Fanny already. And I just said that was just the brilliant title, the most brilliant title. But going back to cunt. So my biggest watched reel on Instagram with the most comments. So I think last time I looked, it was about 330,000 views and over 1,000 comments, was about that women should embrace the word cunt. We shouldn't let it be used against us as a terrible word. But I can see having it in the title of a podcast might have been a bit tricky.
Yeah. One of the only not really bad bits of feedback at the very beginning, the only sort of down thing we had was one woman messaged us to tell us she didn't like I stopped listening because I don't like the word cunt, didn't she?
Yeah, so we used it a bit more, Joyce.
Yeah. There's always one. There's always one. It's fine.
There's always one. And do you know what? If you don't like the word cunt or you don't like any of the language, then you think, do you know what? That's not for me. Those girls aren't for me. And you can just move on. It always amazes me. People feel the need to tell you why.
I think it's a good word to reclaim, isn't it? And ask yourself, why don't you like it? What's because I never used to like it, but then I think I was taught not to like it. I was taught it was dirty, rude, horrible. So reclaim your cunt.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said in the reel. We should own it. And then if there is anyone using it in a bad, horrible way to you, then you can just put two fingers up and say, yeah, I don't care. It's my word.
Or
And
one finger.
Yeah.
or a fist.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
come and
God.
get it.
Oh my God. Look what you're doing to me. Look what you're doing.
Fighting. We're talking about cunts and we're fighting now. Oh my
And
God.
dogging, all sorts of
Dogging.
things. Oh my
It's
God.
not even been 5 minutes, Joyce.
No, I know. Goodness me. Oh, it was that sexy voice that got me, you see. You've put me in a...
In the zone.
in the zone. Now, I am such a fan of female friendships, and at my book launch I talk quite a lot about it, and I do have some really good male friends, and I have some really good male friends that I go out on a one-to-one with just as mates. I've always had really good male friends that are mates, but I do think that at this time of our lives, that craving of female friendship, which you two really, you it's so good in your podcast, seeing the relationship between the two of you. And Jinty, I'm going to read a quote that you said that I've put in my book. I've noticed as I've got older, I crave the company of women. Recently with some friends, we danced in the kitchen. We didn't give a shit. I think that through your 20s and 30s and into your 40s, there is maybe a bit of competition. That's gone at this stage of our lives. I think we become much more accepting of all our weird and wonderful ways. I so agree, but tell us more about how you feel about female friendships, and do they change as we age?
I think they get better, and I think you choose, and you're more choosy of your friends. You want those ones that are actually, when you call them or just say, I need you, even if they're the other side of the world. I know if Jinty moved away and I said, I need you, she would jump on a plane. She would come over, and vice versa. And also, it's those women that would help you bury the body. You want those people in your life, and with no questions asked, just where do you want me? When I'm coming, I'm on my way. That is the biggest thing in my life. I've had so many what I would call frivolous friends, your social friends. You're going out, you stop drinking. I know you found this. You stop drinking and all of a sudden you're not asked into those social groups anymore. So that just shows the depth or the shallowness of those connections. So I think, for me, it's my friendship circle has really shrunk. I've got more. I have got another friend other than Jinty, but it's shrunk really small. Because I want the women in my life that will give me something and will have my back.
Yeah, I think the same. I absolutely stand by what I said in the book. It was a craving, it was a need, and I think it's also a need for sincerity. I think whether it's menopause, midlife, just age generally, where I haven't got the time for a lot of small talk, a lot of insincere conversations, and so you kind of, I think they're, for some people anyway, becomes like a natural edit of friends.
That's a good way of describing it. Yeah,
where I've got friends that were wonderful when I had my kids, that I went to antenatal group, postnatal group, absolutely wonderful people. I wouldn't necessarily need them in my life now, and they wouldn't need me, but at the time they were great. And so I think there becomes this sort of nothing nasty, not a ghosting, but it's just a natural edit for sincerity and clarity and deeper conversations.
Yeah.
And frivolous conversations too, obviously.
Yeah.
Like we like talking about a load of nonsense.
A lot of shit. Yeah, we do. And it's needed, isn't it? But it's the laughter. It's that, like, you're great. You're great for your laugh. You're known for your laugh, Joyce. And actually, and you want that laugh. You want those friends that are going to make you laugh so much you pee yourself. That's the kind of friendship you want, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you've totally got it right there about life changing. So one of my friends, when I had my first child, one of my friends said to me, you're going to turn around one day and realize there's loads of women in your house who are just the parents of your child's friend, and they are there, and we do need them. We do need women who are going through, and friends who are going through similar life stages to us. When I was pregnant, I had a whole group that I was hanging out with, and we hung out when they were babies, and then we drifted apart. So that coming and going is natural. I like that. It is natural. But now we're in postmenopause, and now the other thing I love saying is around this stage, it becomes quality, not quantity, with everything: sex, friendships, food, everything. Everything you enjoy in life, just do the quality and not think, I've got to do 20 things. Just do two great things. So, yeah.
I love that. And actually, it's so
and
true.
Friends that don't judge. I think that's really important, isn't it? And as I said in that thing, when there is a certain amount of competition when you're younger, isn't it? You look at what other people have got and what they're doing and their job and their boyfriends and their husbands and all their children are perfect, and and there's a lot of that goes on. But I think it's I don't know, can't remember what the point I was making now.
I think it's so. I like those friends. Like I like that messiness of friendship as well.
Yeah.
That you can bring anything to the table and it doesn't matter. You don't have to be on your best behaviour. It's warts and all. It's absolutely laid bare.
That's what I was
judgment
saying.
And vulnerability. Yeah. How you can be vulnerable with another person, another maybe female friend, but that vulnerability, and they're not going to go, okay. Because we've all had that, and we've all had that look and that judgment.
But both Lou and I don't know what relationship you had with your mum, Joyce, but my mum died only about 3 years ago. Lou's mum's still here, but both we love our mums dearly, and we get on with them beautifully, don't we? But they both have this thing. What is it your mum says to you?
Oh, well, at least you're happy with it. You like it, don't you? You like it, don't you?
You like it. My mum used to say, similar things. Oh, you're wearing that, are you? And so it's this kind of constant little bit of judgment that we can take from our mums, but we don't really need from friends. I'd rather a friend just said, "What the bloody hell?"
Well, we have done before. What are you wearing?
Get off! I'm not going out with you looking like that. But I think what you said, Jinty, about in your 20s and 30s, because I did read that quote out at the book launch. My school friends came to the book launch as well. They got there a bit late, actually. They did tell me they were coming a bit late, but they had to come from quite far. So they missed me reading that bit. But I've written in the book that my school friends were the great example that really made me realise that our relationships had changed. So I've known them literally almost 60 years, and we've met through the years periodically. We meet a lot more now, but definitely in our 30s and 40s, especially when we met, we'd have a weekend in a spa hotel or something, and there'd always be a little bit of bitchiness, a little bit of undercurrent and some cliques going on, and there was definitely a little bit of talking behind the hand and that sort of thing. But I realised about 5 or 6 years ago that had totally gone, and now it's a very different relationship. They sort of be my little experiment. I won't tell them that. But no, I didn't realise until a few years ago that we don't have that anymore. It's just vanished. And I realised that lots of friends, and you do have to get rid of some for sure, who don't feed you, and we don't need them. We don't need them at this time. So yeah. So here we are, girl power. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Friendship power, isn't it? It is the power of friendship. It's huge.
But let's talk about tea. Tea. Spill the tea. Spill the tea. So you say, tea. I've only got water. Sorry. You say during your podcast, I didn't have time. I should have bought tea. That's a very terrible host I am.
You spilled it.
I spilled it.
You spilled it.
I spilled it. So you say during your podcast you're going to spill the tea. So obviously metaphorically, and I know you both love tea. Sorry, Lou, to give another Jinty quote from the book.
I know. I knew it was Jinty heavy.
Sorry, you're obviously crap. You were. No,
I'm fine with that, Joyce. I am
sorry.
the Debbie McGee to her Paul at Daniels.
Ooh,
Right,
now-
okay. I'll read the quote. God, I better go quickly find a Lou quote. Right, there's something relaxing
It's
about
all right.
making tea and drinking tea. It makes me sit down and stop and enjoy. Sip the tea and get the flavour. Now, I know your husbands are very good at making tea. I can't remember which one of you. I think there's a quote in the sex chapter by one of you that you get turned on by your husband making. I should have used
Mine,
that
actually.
quote.
I think I mentioned it as
we
well.
both mentioned
We both mentioned tea. Yeah.
So-
it's about foreplay. Foreplay begins in the morning with a
Cup of tea. A good cup of tea.
Yeah.
A good
Very
cup of tea
sexy.
and a good evening.
Yeah.
Very, very sexy for sure. So tell me about tell me about tea.
Oh, well, what do you want to know about tea?
Well, tea's always, it's a very British thing as well, isn't it? How tea just, brings people together. The first thing you do, don't you, when people come round and they've got a problem, first thing we always did when you came round is put the kettle on.
Put the kettle on. You put the kettle
Let's
on.
put the kettle on. And that's something we've always done. I know one of our very first in our very first series, we interviewed a tea scientist.
We did.
Which was, and I
Oh.
went very deep, didn't I?
You went
I
very
went
deep.
to university in China and studied tea, and she was absolutely fascinating. And we learned a lot about the tea ceremonies, and how it's used as a very meditative thing. It's not just you sit down and you chat while having your tea. It's a very kind of is a ceremony. So I kind of look at my cups of tea, I try to, like that. I mean, sometimes you're busy drinking a cup of tea, but you still always got time to savor the flavor, and you really enjoy it.
And I think in times of crisis, what do? Somebody's feeling faint. Somebody's really upset and emotional. Let me just make you a cup of tea. Let me make you a brew.
Do you think it's a way of it's a way of almost saying to somebody, I've got time, I've got an hour, because
I've
that's
got
how
time.
long
I'm
it
here,
takes me to
and I
drink
want
the
to
tea.
nourish you as well. I want to give you something, because you are giving them
Yeah.
something physical, aren't you? As well.
I
But yeah,
think
tea's good.
I think as well it's a great time to pause, and we don't pause enough. And years ago, we always used to stop for a break. We used to have a tea or coffee break, didn't we? In the morning, we'd get into work,
Yeah.
have a break in the morning for a cup of tea, cup of coffee, then have our lunch, and then go back and have another break in the afternoon, and then we go home. But I think that is it just me, or has that structure just disappeared?
I think it's just disappeared. It's gone. It's gone. Definitely gone in the workplace, hasn't it? Where it used to
Yeah.
be. That is just completely gone. I mean, when you're at home, you can do that more, and you can structure. Well, not you don't even have to structure that into the day, because I can be doing the house and thinking, I'll have a quick brew. Sit down for 5 minutes. So
I think also
it
it
is
comes
that rest.
when you for those who I know not everyone has children, but if you've had children, I've probably, even now at 56, am I 56 or 57?
You are still 56. You're going to be 57 in a minute.
That's right.
In a couple of
So
in the
even
next
now,
couple of weeks.
at 56, I think I've probably still had more cold cups of tea
Yeah.
than hot, just from when your children are young and you make them, but you never actually have that pause, do you? Because it's either too hot, you're nursing one, and you think, I don't want to spill tea on them, or I sort of think I'm still making up for all those
All those
cups of teas I
teas.
didn't drink, I made and didn't drink all those years ago.
And for me at work, I always have this saying, I say this all the time, the best projects that we've started have been over the coffee and tea break or a glass of wine, but they haven't been in the meetings and things. They've been in that casual setting of just having a chat over a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Because it's informal and you're relaxed, and I think you open up more, don't you, as well? You're in a different environment rather than sat in the boardroom, sat in the kitchen. You're going to feel more chilled. You're going to feel relaxed.
When you're more relaxed, your brain has space, doesn't it? Space to kind of just use your imagination a bit better, and think of things that you necessarily, it's like when you walk into a room and you forget what you've gone in there for. If you just sort of let your mind the more you try and think of something, the further away it's gone. But if you kind of forget about it, and that's a bit like what we try and do when we're having a cup of tea with people, is, you know, you just want to forget it, then you kind of think of all sorts of things.
Yeah, I agree. Now, the podcast. So you started it in 2021. Hope that's right. And you've done almost 200 episodes. So what sort of things? What's the most common topics you talk about? I'm going to ask you a difficult one. What's your favourite topic to talk about as well?
Ooh,
Gosh, I don't know. There's so many favourites. We have so many amazing guests. We're really blessed, aren't we?
yeah.
God. Well, so I think the most common topics are women's health,
And menopause. Because menopause comes into so many different conversations, doesn't it? You can be talking about menopause, you know, specifically, but then you can also be talking to somebody about their cancer experience, or their birth trauma experience, or anything that kind of involves women's health. And quite often there's a menopause angle. So, you know, we have found, we didn't set out to do a podcast all about menopause, but actually when you're talking to most people, it
comes out. And that's different
not necessarily
ages.
midlife either.
No.
We're talking to young people also, where it comes up with surgical menopause, or, you know, POI and things. So that quickly became quite a common thread, didn't it?
It became a common thread, and it was also what a lot of our listeners and people that were messaging us were asking us more and more questions about. And we're not medical professionals, so
we got them in.
Yeah, we got them in, and we started those conversations, and those more taboo ones, maybe talking about sexual health, maybe talking about, I don't know, it's just so many questions that we have as women that we were never told when we were at school, and we've had to find out as we've got older.
And even as we've got older, a lot of people, it's questions they still wouldn't ask, and they might not even ask their best friends, but they'd listen to a podcast on, say, the genitourinary symptoms of menopause, and where we talk about local estrogen. Can't talk about that enough, really, because it's one of those questions not a lot of people ask. They go through things, you know, quite alone, you know, when it comes to those sort of symptoms. So I think if I was to choose a favourite, it would be kind of those sort of taboo subjects, only because we know it's something people
definitely
need and want, yet maybe they're too afraid to ask even a health professional.
Now, one topic that's quite taboo is mental health, and we don't talk about that enough. And we had discussions when I interviewed for the book about how you look after your mental health. So anything you want to say about mental health, about either your own experience or things that have come up on the podcast, or how women are coping with looking after our mental health? Because I think that's an area that we really need to get up there much more and get people talking about.
Absolutely. And we know that the struggles in perimenopause are absolutely huge for women. Personally, in postmenopause, I'm so much better. And I think you make time for yourself. You do the things that bring you joy. Those little things, even like walking early morning walks on the beach, a sea swim, anything like that, that's going to give you those little glimmers, those little moments of joy. Whereas I think when you're in, sometimes it feels like the trenches in perimenopause, doesn't it? And the world is very heavy, and it's not always the best place to be for a lot of people. That is when your mental health, I think, struggles an awful lot more, because you've got you've got maybe elderly parents, you've got maybe teenagers, and you're right in the middle of everything, and that balance is so fine.
It is. And I think when you're at your very lowest, and you've got, like you say, elderly parents, or maybe they've died, you've got grief, and maybe you've got teenage children, and you've got work and everything else. I found with my own mental health, when I was very bad with anxiety, those are the very times I really needed all my little strategies, my walking down to the beach, my yogic breathing. When I needed them, I couldn't. It's too hard when you're that bad. You can't, they seem out of reach. And it's almost, for me, when my mental health is great, I can do all those things. I'll prioritise myself because I'm worth it. When I'm in the trenches, as Lou said, I'm not worth anything. So why would I do that? Because I'm not worth it. So personally, for me, I had to know that at some point that anxiety would come on again, and when it does, what am I going to do about it? And the only thing I could do was take tea. Was one of them. Tea was one of my pauses, and hot cup of tea, and literally just take every second at a time. I think for anyone out there that's suffering with real proper anxiety and you're scared of everything, scared of the door ringing, scared of every little noise, everything, all you can do is one step, one foot in front of the other. And yeah, tea did really help. But it's hard. The moment you want all those things, that you see people do this life hack for your mental health, do that life hack. It's easy when you're already in a good place.
When you're in a hard, and don't you find as well, when you're in a really bad place mentally, and all you get are these bloody life hacks from these people, and you just think, fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off.
Fuck off. I don't know if I want to get out of bed this morning, let alone look at you bloody bouncing down the road. No.
I've cleaned my teeth.
Yeah.
That's a good day.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, and it's just it's those little glimmers and trying to be really gentle with yourself. But you can when you're older, which is harder when you're younger.
It is. And also what's hard when you're younger is saying no.
Yeah.
And I found, although I love to say yes when I'm in a good place, I found I did have to say no. And that massively helped. You know, you take on too much sometimes. And in menopause, I think it's good to know that it won't be forever. Because I thought, if I say no now, I'll never be asked again. But it does happen, and you do move through that. But you need to just maybe have a period of saying no to a few things.
But now, do you know what? You say that, Jints. Now I think, oh, thank God they didn't ask me. I get the joy of missing out. I'm like, oh yeah, no, great. I can stay home again tonight. Yeah,
yeah. There's that as well.
It's funny because when I asked everyone their advice to their younger self, and I've got this at the very end of the book, there was quite a few people that said I need to learn to say no more, and that's definitely me. But there were a couple of people who said I should have said yes more. So I thought that was quite interesting. Yeah. So we're all so different. Yeah.
We are. Be choosy is I suppose, say yes to the right things.
I think whatever sort of piques your fancy, what gives you, what gives you a little taste, what are you interested in? Don't do the stuff that you think, I've got no interest in that whatsoever. I don't like it. I'm not going to do it. That's where I am. And I'm like that.
Yeah, do it for you.
But if there's something I go, oh, what's that about? I think you should, if you've got some, what's the word I'm looking for? If you are curious about something, crack on.
Yeah. Now, you've both mentioned, which I hate you for, the beach. You both mentioned because, you both live near the beach and you both rubbed it in again about how you love walking to the beach. So,
sorry about that.
No, it's fine, because listening to people like you has made me realise that what I need to do is move to the beach, near the beach.
You do, Joyce.
I am. I'm not coming quite as far as you, but at the moment, top of the list is Brighton. But I do think it's important, and I know you talk about it because it's something that's free, and not everyone can make it to the beach, okay? But just being outside, being in nature is something that's really good for our mental health. There is research on this, that being outside in nature really helps, getting that, going for a walk. And the weather's so beautiful at the moment. I don't know if it's hopefully where you are, but here it's just, it's amazing. So that, that's such a good thing, isn't it? Just getting outside, going for that walk. Water does really help if you buy some water, but anywhere, just getting out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I mean, luckily, my children left home. When they left home, we got a dog. So my third child, and she makes me go out. I love that because it's my excuse. Up early in the morning, walking, going out, just breathing and looking at the sky, hearing the waves. I stand there for a few minutes every morning. I make sure I do. I look at the waves, and I love looking at the big skies and what the clouds are doing. And it's just those little moments of not thinking about anything else at all, just ambling along or just stood there looking and watching and breathing. And it's the best thing.
I mean, you realise how small you are in the
Yes.
grand scheme of things,
You
don't
do.
you? You look out and there's no, you can see the horizon beyond you, and it's just quite a, you can be in your own head quite a lot, can't you? When you wake up in the morning, and there's so much rattling around there, and then you get out, especially to anywhere there's water, as you say, and the sea where you've got the waves, like Lou said, the noise, the sound. You realise that the world is much bigger than you and your little
it's
things
so
you've
true.
got going on.
So true. Yeah, and I think especially with all the shit going on in the world at the moment, it's just that little bit of quiet, that little bit of calm. No news, nothing to disrupt.
Until your dog starts having
barking.
a go at somebody.
Yeah, usually jumping on another dog that's stolen the ball, and then I have to go and apologise and pull her off a dog. But other than that,
that's quite peaceful.
No, other than that, it's been really peaceful. So I take a picture and then just kill it.
And you're right. Every time I go to the sea, I take loads of pictures. I've got so many pictures, and I know we shouldn't use our phone all the time, but I just love capturing that moment. And I wanted to talk about hobbies and being creative, because I know both of you said that your podcast is a great way to be creative and to explore your creativity. But you do other things as well. So Lou, your turn now. Crochet.
Okay,
go.
Yeah, I crochet. I crochet. I learned to crochet in lockdown. My neighbour taught me a few sort of basic stitches, and I crochet. Although I'm looking over on my sofa, and there's a blanket that I was crocheting for your daughter's wedding that we went to in the Philippines in February. It's now the dog's blanket, but I am going to finish it. I am going to finish. But I love doing things with my hands. I'm making a shell mobile out in my outhouse. I love just doing things, and they're pretty shit most of the time. But I love just making things and doing things and being creative. I think as women, we've always been busy. We're always busy, and we are busy with our hands because we're doing the dishes, we're making dinner, we're cleaning up, we're wiping the children down, changing nappies, all those things.
Lou, they're in their 20s. You don't need to wipe them down anymore.
Wow, you'd be surprised after a night out. So I think our hands have always been so important to us as women, and then to do something creative with them is I love it. Actually, it gives me a lot of joy.
Yeah.
Even when
you get something out of it. Don't you?
Well, when I finally finish
Which is
things,
even better. Yeah, when you do finally finish. You've finished lots. You've made me a beautiful cardie.
Yes, and I've made handbags, made all sorts.
Yeah, she's very good. She's very good.
And it doesn't matter.
I'm sure, no.
I was gonna gloss over. No. We all do something though.
Yeah. You.
Sorry, carry on.
No, I was going to say Jinty's really good because you're such a you just love your learning and just being more, don't you, and learning more. And
I love drawing. I haven't drawn for years and years.
God, you did an art A level, didn't you?
Yeah, I did art A level and a foundation degree. I never did the actual degree. No, I do love drawing, and it's one of those things that I know when I have the time, I will definitely come back to drawing and Conte crayons and pastels. I love that. But it takes time to set it all up. That's the only thing.
You need a room in your house.
I do need a room.
You need to reclaim that
room. One day.
Yeah.
I've got a room.
Nice.
I have got a room.
What do you do in your room, Joyce?
Mainly sewing. Sewing. I made all. In my 20s, I used to make all my clothes, and I can just about fit in them. Not all of them, but about half of them. So this summer is going to be the first summer. I wore one yesterday. I've got one here actually. I've literally, they've been under the bed for about 35 years because I couldn't fit in them. But I can. So yeah, I can't draw. I can't draw. Well done, Jinty, for drawing. But my sister made me a bit sad the other day. She's really good at painting, and I said, have you stopped painting? I haven't seen anything. She said, stop painting because I didn't know what to do with them all. I should just give them away. Yeah, so I thought it was a bit sad. It doesn't matter, as you said it doesn't matter what, it's if we have I have a house full of bits of pottery and glass work and things that I go to various workshops and do, but they do, creating something brings us a lot of joy. So I think it's so good for women to find something, and I always say hobbies are not selfish, they're not a waste of time, they're so good for our mental health and often for our physical health, depending on what we're doing. Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
I started a choir last year.
Oh, yeah.
Been going about a year now, and I just absolutely love it. I love it. Everything about it. It's just brilliant. It keeps my brain so from week to week. I'll try and learn the lyrics. I've got you have the songs downloaded on your phone so I can practice, and then every week we meet up and sing together. And again, it's a bit like that we were saying earlier about that craving to be with. It's not a women's choir, but it is mostly women there, and it's just that being with this crowd of women who we barely talk, we just sing together. And it's just, I just love it. It's beautiful.
That is amazing. That's brilliant. I love choirs. I can't really sing, but I am going to start, if I have more time. That is something on my list to do. Definitely.
That's the best thing about a choir, Joyce. As long you never sing on your own, so you've always got this. It's just this sound. You are one voice. So it all and you just think, how can that all come together? But it does. It's amazing.
Right, another thing on the list. Right, listen, everyone listening. If you think of things that especially things that you used to do, like you said, you used to draw, Jinty, those things that you used to do and you've forgotten about, you might not have the time now, but so that's why every year I do a vision board, and sometimes things stay on the vision board. I keep putting them back on. I think I still haven't done that, but it doesn't matter because I don't forget that, actually, I'd really like to sit down and draw, sit down and crochet or knit or whatever that is. So I really like doing mosaics. I love mosaics as well because you don't have to be good at it. You can just break up some tiles and, put them on a table or something, and it always looks amazing. It will look amazing. So
yeah,
love it. And then it's their creativity.
It's the process, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the process, not really the outcome quite often.
So good for us, so good. The other thing that I think is really good for us that we talked about when I interviewed you before was about, I know both of you love adventures and love challenges. So tell us about something you've got. Have you got anything exciting coming up for this year?
Yes,
Joyce. I thought so.
This month, what are we doing, Lou?
On the 28th this month, we're off. We're going to the Atlas Mountains on a
trek,
female-led trek.
Wow!
5 days of trekking up the Atlas Mountains.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Wow!
Yeah,
I've already heard.
Looking forward to it.
I've already heard some adventures that various women have been going on. A few women that I know have they just went to Finland and had a crazy time in the snow and everything there. It was -20 and all those exciting things. So what made you decide to go on that particular trek?
It's both our birthdays this month. So I think I saw this pop up on social media, and it's with this fantastic woman who just runs, mostly, she does some mixed groups as well, but mostly just women's adventures, Kilimanjaro, Mount Kenya, and Atlas Mountains. And and my husband at the time was saying, what do you want for your birthday? I don't I've got stuff. I don't need any more stuff. So I said, this, please. And Lou's birthday is the day after mine. So, so she said the same, I think. Yeah, I'll have this for my birthday.
So that's us. That's us off
Our
to the
birthday
Atlas.
presents.
Yeah, off to Marrakesh the end of this month.
Wow.
Joyce, trekking.
I love it. And you know what? You both mentioned your husband. So some women I know really would love to do something like that. And then they say, oh, my husband doesn't want to come. They don't need to come, do they?
No. that quite quickly. No, they certainly don't, because you're not your husband. You are your own person. You want to go, you go.
I'm a firm believer in. I love I love going on holiday and adventures with my husband. We went to Scandinavia last year, and I had a proper Scandinavia adventure up mountains in Norway, and it was fantastic. I don't think you can get everything you need from one person. So I need other people. This is a trip I could probably done it on my own with other women, but it's even better doing it together with Lou. And he, surely their husbands might like to do something on their own that they don't want to do.
Yeah, no, I like Jint. We had I went backpacking rounds a couple of the Philippine islands in February with my husband after we'd been to Jinty's daughter's wedding, and we had the best time, the best connection with each other, and just the biggest adventures we'd ever had together. And it was the most amazing trip. But also, this is going to be an amazing trip because, like Jint said, you're getting different things. You're getting different things out of it, and it just.
And it's something to talk about with your husband when you come home and tell them about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thanks for my birthday present.
Thanks for paying.
We did this.
And then we did this. And then we did that. Oh, gosh, you would have loved that.
But I think one phrase I keep saying is we've got to let women know and give them permission to do these things. And we are getting older. We have got a finite number of healthy years left. If we want to do things, we need to do them. So we shouldn't worry about our husbands. If they're really against it, they can fuck off, basically. We need to do it. I want every woman to, whether she's married or not, to do what she wants to do. As you said already, just do what she wants to do at this stage of her life, not what anybody else wants to do. I think that's such an important message.
And I think especially post-menopausal, it's that one time in your life, other than your very early 20s or teens, depending on the life that you've had, you can be quite selfish, but selfish in a way that you're not hurting other people, which you might have done when you were younger, but selfish in self-preservation and your own goals and going for your own joy, finding your own joy. You want that level of selfishness.
Benefits.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Benefits. I look around, if I'm okay and if I'm doing something, I've got something to look forward to like this. Everyone in my house, I've got, sort of kids that have been off and come back, so I've still got a house full, and they all benefit from my what the things that my self-care, and also it shows them, doesn't it? It shows our children, if you still got them at home, that mums aren't just there for for everybody else. They have got a life themselves.
They're not just for Christmas.
They're not just for Christmas. They're very good at Christmas. They seem to do everything at Christmas.
They're essential for Christmas.
Started. They are essential.
But yeah, I think that's really an important message, that it's our time, and it's not selfish. Self-care is not selfish, and we are a much happier. Surely everyone wants their mother to be happy.
Yeah. Oh well, you really hope they, if you've brought your children up properly or you've given them, they would want that for you without a shadow of a doubt.
And their husbands.
Have you done my tea?
Yeah, but what we having for dinner? Oh, not that again.
I've just booked with my kids for the first time ever an all-inclusive, because last year every time I went anywhere with them, I was just, and I because I was home alone most of last year, and then when we were on holiday, I realised I was just seriously upping the whole mothering and doing everything. I was like, oh, hold on, this wasn't a holiday. So yeah, for the first time I booked all inclusive. I'm not doing bugger all.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, no, that is it. Yeah, that is it. And you've got more time for them, more time for you. You're more chilled. It's fabulous.
Now, talking of husbands, we did in the book talk a lot about sex, and it was the first chapter I wrote after the interviews because I was just bowled over by how honest everyone had been. And you both did some quotes. Some quotes are people are anonymous for various reasons. But has sex come up on your podcast?
Yes, we've done quite a few for different things. So we've done obviously we've done sexual health and the genitourinary symptoms of menopause. That's come up quite a lot because we love to tell people about local estrogen. So we've had the lovely Samantha Evans from
Joe
Joe
Devine,
who spoke to us about sexual health, didn't she? And about
Yep.
the ingredients in different lubes, things like that, the importance of choosing the right one. And we spoke to a doctor, didn't we, about sexual health. I think it's more from a sexual health.
It has been more sexual health rather than sexual pleasure. Although I think one of our future guests, we've got a bit of sexual pleasure, haven't we?
Yes, we have. We've got a bit of orgasm gap.
Yeah.
Talking about that.
So yeah, we're looking forward to that. But it comes up again. It's one of those taboo subjects that, you know, I think women now are more encouraged to enjoy sex, but sex used to be just, it was an act to get pregnant, wasn't it? That was your role. And then the pleasure was not always important for the woman to have an orgasm or to have pleasure out of sex, whereas that is changing. I think that definitely changes in midlife and post-menopause.
Yeah, I just don't want women to forget about their orgasm. Well, actually, intimacy, whether they have an orgasm or not. But yeah, there's lots to unpack there, and we won't unpack that all now. Too much to unpack. But yeah, I need to do some more podcasts on sex as well.
It is a huge subject, I think, and not everyone's got a partner, but obviously you don't need a partner. You don't need a partner. There's health. You know, Joyce, there's health benefits to orgasms, aren't there? And feeling sexy is huge in itself, isn't it? I think so. If intimacy within yourself or with a partner is hugely important to, I don't know whether you feel sexy or not, isn't it?
It's my sexy voice.
she's got a sexy voice. You need to do some phone sex. Do they still have phone sex?
Oh my God, we could do some OnlyFans, couldn't I, or something? I don't know. Yeah, phone sex.
I don't know.
Do phone sex?
I don't know. Is that a thing? I think Lou could definitely earn some money.
Oh, thanks, Joyce.
Yeah, I sound like a 12-year-old child.
We won't go there. Don't go. No, don't go there.
Moving on.
This summer I'm doing 3 festivals. I did one last year, but this summer I'm doing 3 festivals talking about why orgasms are good for our health. So very much understanding our anatomy, understanding touch and caressing and kissing and all that. So I loved it last year. We had such a good event. It was my favourite talk that I gave last year at the big retreat. So I'm looking forward to doing it 3 times this year. So it's very, very exciting.
Brilliant. And it will be packed.
It was. With men, had men, and then one of the sound guy, the sound guy in the main arena came up to me afterwards, and he said, my wife was at your event. He said, I'm so looking forward to tonight.
I bet he is.
I need this because it's very healthy for me.
I loved it. Now, something is not really taboo, but I think it's not so sexy. And I said this year I want to make it more sexy, is lifestyle. So everyone seems to want a quick fix. They want a quick pill or a quick method to make themselves feel mentally and physically great. And I don't think that's possible. Do you think lifestyle's important? So, I always say back to basics, back to nutrition and exercise and our sleep. We talked about mental health already, and our friendships. So all those things, some of those things we've already talked about, all those things I think are important. Do you think back to basics and lifestyle is important for, I'll say, not just women's health, for everyone's health?
Massively.
Yeah.
It's massively. It's as soon as you say it, though, people turn off sometimes because it can. If they want an instant fix, it can be really boring, can't it? To say you need, moderation, and moderation is a really boring word, but we need moderation, as you said before, in most things. And healthy lifestyle choices is perhaps not what people want to hear sometimes, but massive, hugely. I think when you go into postmenopause, I'm starting to see, and I know Lou is as well, suddenly the disparity in people of the same age.
Yes.
Yes.
And you can kind of tell, and without judging, but you can kind of tell the people that look after their lifestyle and have got a healthier lifestyle and the ones that don't. And I do worry for the ones that don't, because it's hard to break those habits of a lifetime. And sometimes they just turn off again because they think it's boring, or
And it is boring, but it's
sometimes it's
necessity.
boring.
And I think what we both do, actually, because I went to yours for lunch the other day, we both cook from scratch. Both our mums cooked from scratch, and your children have had that cook from scratch. No, as few additives, because you can't always get away from them, as possible. And so have mine. And I think actually having that as a real core when your children are younger, and even if you're just snacking on those little bits, I am the most unhealthiest person in that respect, that I do love my chocolate, love sweets treats, but I love cooking from scratch as well. So, not the ready meals or anything like that. I think that is
and also
such
when
a
you
health
cook
benefit.
from scratch, if you do have children, they know what a parsnip looks like. They know, do you know what I mean? They know what a Swede looks like.
We grow them in the garden, even in my flower borders.
I don't go that far, but
I've got peas growing up in my flower borders out, and I've only got a little tiny garden, a little courtyard garden, but I think you can do it. It's not, you don't need land. I'm in a little townhouse and I've got a little courtyard garden, and I grow peas and herbs and strawberries in my things I love in my little beds and pots, and you can do that. And that's what the girls have grown up on, picking things and digging things
up. You don't
up.
have to do everything. Like, there's so many healthy lifestyle choices. You don't have to do all of them.
No.
You wouldn't have time in your day
Do you
for
know
anything.
what? No.
But you can pick.
No, you wouldn't.
Pick the ones that suit your lifestyle, depending on where you live.
I don't drink water, Joyce. I don't like water. I don't like water. Your mum. You used to call your mum a painful sipper, but I think
painful sipper. You've taken over.
I've taken over your mum's role as a painful sipper. I'm like, oh, water's so dull.
I love water. I only drink water.
Too.
I drink water and champagne.
See, I'm with you at the champagne. I do the champagne.
Me, I'm the same, but with tea as well.
Tea and
of
champagne.
Course.
Of course. Brilliant. Love it, love it. Now, you have been doing a lot of work. So you both live in Exmouth, and you've been doing loads of work around there. You set up the first Menopause Café and something called Where's My Clinic. So tell us more about the support you're giving women in your area.
Well, I'll cut it very shortly, but the Where's My Clinic campaign has been started just over 4 years ago. And we came back from Parliament where there was a big menopause rally, and realised things were changing in menopause. And quite often, Devon, we've got rubbish infrastructure down here when it comes to public transport and things like that. And we just thought, are we going to get forgotten down here? Wow. So we were just determined, and all we started doing was asking questions. We never set out for a campaign. We just started writing to our MP, writing to the ICB at the time. What provisions? We knew we didn't have a menopause clinic because people were telling us that, but we could also look that up at on the BMS website. So what provisions are women in Devon getting? And basically they were getting nothing. They were driving, for complex cases, they were having to drive 120-mile round trip. That's if they were referred to a menopause specialist at all. And we know that not everyone needs a specialist, but there's quite a few people with complex cases that at least should be able to see someone
near their area
if they do. So just by asking questions, and our MP got involved and raised it in Parliament, in Prime Minister's questions, that got us taken seriously by the ICB, who since then we had lots of meetings with, and then obviously with the women's health with women's health hubs, a little bit of funding from that. We now have, be 2 years in October, we've had a pilot Devon menopause service. So not quite a clinic, an actual physical clinic, but it is somewhere that people can be referred to, or at least GPs can go for advice and guidance. And they are in the middle of setting up face-to-face patient contact for those that they can't sort of be dealt with over an email or a phone call. So we're really hoping the pilot continues, because it's hugely helping.
It's massively helping. We've had some lovely feedback from people that have really benefited and had a lot of help from it, because it is an area. I mean, you talk about 120 miles round trip. That's if you can actually get in the car and drive, if you haven't got that anxiety.
Yeah.
So it's well, Joyce, it's absolutely, it's for some women, it's like I say, getting out of bed and I've cleaned my teeth today. Exactly what Jinty said. It is, some days are like that, let alone 120 miles in a car to see a stranger.
Exactly. And even a virtual appointment. I know when I was at my worst with anxiety, if the tech didn't work immediately, I couldn't bear it. I couldn't fiddle around with things because the anxiety was so bad. So even sometimes, unless tech works really, really well, even virtual appointments sometimes are very difficult. But fingers crossed, it's going well. We have 6 fantastic menopause specialists here in Devon. So and they're all really keen to keep it going. And talking of sex and sexual health, part of it is run by our Devon Sexual Health, who've been just wonderful. So fingers crossed. We're still on it. We're staying on it like a dog with a bone or a dog with Louise's blanket.
Yeah. Yeah.
You honestly, with your podcast and with everything you're doing now in Devon, it's you the pair of you are just flying, and I think you're such good examples of women that life can just get better and better as we age. You really are. You've just, you've just opened so many things, and talking to you is always just such an inspiration, and it's just brilliant. So I wanted to finish
thank you.
No, seriously. And I wanted to finish by asking you what you think about aging.
Well, we're always aging, aren't we? I mean, we're aging from the day we're born. We're getting older. I think it's a privilege. I think I've said before, I've lost one of my best friends in her 30s who needed a lung and heart transplant and didn't get one. I lost another best friend. She was only 43. I was 46 through breast cancer. And I'm watching her children now. I'm godparent to her 3 children grow up, have boyfriends and girlfriends, and have lives, go to university. And she can't. So every time I worry about a few wrinkles, I just think of them, and I just think, well, what a bloody privilege. They'd have loved to have been here. The other thing I was wondering about is, when you're a kid, you're getting older all the time, aren't you? When you're a kid, I mean, they always say I'm 8.5 or I'm 8 3/4. You love getting older, don't you? You always want to be older and bigger. And then really old people love their age as well, don't they?
Yeah.
They like to tell, I'm 88.
And I'm 88 and I've just climbed a mountain.
But then there's this whole blob in the middle, I'd say, I don't know, from about 20 maybe to, I don't know, whatever, 80, where you kind of, society, I think, just makes you feel a bit like, oh, you shouldn't. There's stigma about
or
aging.
you should be reaching certain goals as you age. Or you haven't had the children yet, haven't got married yet. Reaching goals, and you're forever, you're on a race, aren't you? You're forever going down that track. Or have I got the mortgage yet? I've got the husband. I've got the da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, no, absolutely not. And I think that's the wisdom of being postmenopausal and having that sort of hindsight that actually it doesn't matter. And things I'd wished that I'd enjoyed more and slowed down a little bit more in my 20s and 30s and 40s, and enjoyed those ages a little bit more, because I didn't. And life was a race, and it was a pretty shit race sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely ups and downs. But as you said, we've ticked those things off the list. We've either had the kids, done them all, and now it's just too late anyway. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And I love that. That's what I love. I do think, and I did ask this in the book, about the sense of freedom. I think I really feel free because I don't have a to-do list. I do. I have things I want to do. No, I do have a to-do list, but it's all just fun.
Yeah. It's a bit like a second childhood in a sense, isn't it? Because when you're a child, and before you get to teenage, but before all the expectations, and if you have, I know not everyone has a good childhood, but generally, if you've got a good childhood with, good parents or a good parent, there's no expectation of you as such. You'll just, I'll just sit here and draw. I'll just sit here and make a daisy chain. I'll just, and there's all this stuff you just do because you enjoy it. Kind of that's, I finding that's coming back more and more.
Yeah.
Like singing, I don't sing really for any other reason than I just bloody love it.
Makes you
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
And you
do
don't
what makes
care
you
what
happy.
other people think. It's just like, I don't care. I tell you what I've lost a bit of is my cringe factor.
Oh, I haven't got that no more.
No,
I'm like that. I don't care, and it will come out my mouth. And I just, my husband looks at me some days and goes, "What have you just said?" And I go, "Well, I don't care."
Yeah.
Because it's the truth.
If I want to skip along the beach, sorry, Joyce again. If I want to skip and pick up some sand, if I want to splash in the water, then I'll splash.
I skipped through Manila Airport. He said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm skipping." I had to stop because I was going to wet myself. But it's just, you can do it.
If you get the urge, if you feel the urge, don't suppress it.
That's a
Do
good
it.
word.
Yeah. If you were a child, you would. I mean, they just run along and do a cartwheel, or
Yeah.
I don't suggest maybe doing that without a practice, but
You'd be in traction.
yeah. It's a bit like Kate Coddington always says, isn't it, about second spring? I just think it is like a second childhood. It's great.
Yeah,
No expectation.
Saturday I went to London on my own. I was meeting up with friends, wearing a red sequin dress, going day raving. And
I saw that on your stories. That looked amazing.
I love it. I love it. And I had the wonderful the DJ who was headlining, Adele. She's been on my podcast, and I just love it. And I love seeing how she makes everyone in the room just light up and their hands in the air. And And then people say to me, "Oh, you go raving," and I'm like, "Yeah." And I did put this out actually on social media. There was a young guy. He was there. He was only 19. His uncle was DJing. He was there with his dad, and he said to me, "Oh, my dad's trying to relive his youth." I said, "We're not reliving our youth." I said, "Why can't we go clubbing when we're in our 50s and 60s?
Why can't we just find something that we enjoy?
Yeah. Go for the first time. If you've never been clubbing, go to that.
Yeah.
So all the things you said, we're not reliving our youth. We're just bloody enjoying life. Youth does not have the monopoly on all the things that we've talked about today, including sex and holidays and adventures and all of those things. There is no age limit on any of those things. So everyone just do whatever the hell you want to do, and do not worry about what any bastard says about it. I was going to say fucker.
No.
Yeah.
And those. Yeah, and those. Just don't worry. Just do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Always.
Absolutely. And the very last questions, which I have asked you before in the book, but I'm going to ask you again on the podcast. So I ask all my guests, what makes them happy and where is your happy place? And I know you can say the beach. I know you're going to.
What makes me happy is walking on the beach, especially if it's a sunrise walk. That's my favourite time. A sunrise walk on the beach. Even just paddling through the water and walking on the beach. That is my happy place. My heart is full when I'm there.
The beach is amazing. I'd say my happy place is anywhere that my head's okay, anywhere that I can actually sort of have some peace in my head and be in the moment. It could be anywhere. But specifically, I mean, I love snow. So if somebody said, make your head go back to somewhere that you've been, or your happy place you were, you remember being absolutely so happy, it would be top of a mountain. I'd not long learned to ski, and I was rubbish. I was so slow. People were whizzing past me, but in my mind, I was going so fast, and everything was right, and the sun was shining. It's white snow. So, and I suppose that involves water as well, isn't it? Anything where water is, but snow, I absolutely love.
Brilliant.
You don't get
Brilliant.
enough of it down here.
No,
do
we
we?
don't.
No, we haven't seen it either. The very, very last question. Again, I've asked you this before, but advice to your younger self.
I think for me, we're definitely, I know we have sort of talked about it a little bit. My advice to my younger self, say no more. And life is not a competition, I think, as well. Not to be competitive and to just love yourself a little bit more and give yourself some time and some space.
Yeah. Mine would be a couple of things. I would tell myself you don't need a man's approval for everything. I was born in 1969, and by the time I was a teenager, I felt that to be anything in this world, it had to be more like a man. If not, I needed a man's approval. So I've realised over the years that you can still love men without having to have their approval for everything. So that's one thing I would have loved to have learned a lot earlier. I would give myself this book brought with me. I'll show it on there.
So it's called, read it out, it's called
Second Sex. It's called The Second Sex by Simone de Beauvoir. A lot of people have read it. It's a sort of feminist book. As you can see, I haven't read it all. It's massive.
It's massive.
I haven't touched this. It's massive, but the bits I have read. It's a feminist manifesto, and she wrote it in 1949, so it's quite old now. But I wish I'd known a lot more about the power that I already had within me when I was a younger person, so I would have loved to have read that. I'll still keep going. It might take me till I'm 100, but it's a brilliant book.
I love that. And that's such a brilliant way to finish, because you two are you are an inspiration. You're like a ray of sunshine. And I can absolutely see why your podcast is so, so successful. Listening to the two of you is just so brilliant. And you're doing such brilliant work, helping women, supporting women, educating women. And so, Jinty and Lou, keep going with your brilliant WomenKind Collective. And I look forward to being in a room with both of you again together. I know we need to go to the beach, and I'm going to make you go in the water, not paddle. You both said paddle a few times.
That's fine.
I better come in the summer. I am down your way in August, actually, so I'll be in touch about that. But thank you so much. I know, I will talk about that in a minute. Thank you so, so much for our conversation today.
Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you for everything you do as well.